What's up, guys? It's Japa Rico here. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. So let's take a look at the market. Today we are going to talk about the HK50. It's a CFD of the Hang Seng Index. First of all, let's take a look at the calendar, the weekly calendar. We are going to go to here on Daily FX. So as you guys can see today, let me change it to today. Today is Saturday, so Saturday and Sunday there are no events as usual. For the next 7 days, what you have to pay attention, the first thing will be the China growth, GDP growth rate of China that's going to take place on Monday. It's going to be 10 a.m., so 10 in the morning here in Hong Kong time. This is something that probably will likely be have some kind of influence on the HK50. The other indicators, the other red news that we have, the other pieces of red news that we're going to have throughout the week probably are not going to affect the HK50 that much. So we have, as you guys can see, for example, on Tuesday, we're going to have, this is going to be on Wednesday, we're going to have the United Kingdom core inflation rate, two pieces of red news. There is inflation rate and core inflation rate. The Canadian dollar we're going to have on the same day, but it's going to be at 10, this is 8:30 in the evening Hong Kong time. We're going to have two pieces of red news, core inflation rate, okay, more or less the same thing on the October 22nd in Germany. We're going to have the consumer confidence index, and then once again on October 23rd in New Zealand, Japan, United States, we have three pieces of red news. The inflation rate for both New Zealand and Japan, and the manufacturing PMI flash for the United States. So guys, what really is going to affect us for the HK50 is going to be on Monday, that you have to pay attention at 10 in the morning for this GDP growth rate of China. What else? So I have here on the Google News, so when I search it for Hang Seng Index, something that caught my attention was this piece of news. Hong Kong stocks slumped by most in 3 weeks as Alibaba and HSBC tumble. So you have here, and this happened 2 days ago when HSBC and Alibaba shares went down a lot. Something else that happened on September the 25th, like our Hang Seng Index, if you take a look, says Hang Seng Index posts biggest weekly loss in 6 months, right? So this weekly Hang Seng Index biggest weekly loss in 6 months was something that happened. Let me take a look at the chart now. So if you change here to the weekly chart, you can see like a huge drop, and this happened in September. Yeah. So you see the weekly chart between September 21st, September 25th, you can see a huge red candle. So this is what triggered that red news that we just saw. So this happened on the weekly chart. And if you change here, guys, to the daily chart, where you can see is that we have a push down, and this is following the Pvsra charts. So when I look at the Pvsra charts, I see a push down zigzag pattern because we have a bearish move here. So let me delete it first so that you guys can see better. So what happened, guys, is that you have a pullback to the 200 EMA, 233 EMA. So the 200 EMA is this yellow line, and there's a little bit darker yellow line. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's this one. So this line here, guys. Oops. No, it's not. Okay, let me get rid of this and this. Okay. So if you guys can see this dark yellow line. Where is it? Okay, so this dark is more like a brown color line, okay? So let me make it thicker, okay? So you guys can see it better. Oops. Yes. Okay. So now it's a little bit easier to spot. Is this yellow, dark yellow, almost brown line. And you can see a huge accumulation of both the green and the yellow candles with notable volume on the volume bar. So you see that these went all the way up and got stuck here at the 200 and 233 level, okay, EMA. After that, you got a huge push down, and then back again to the resistance, and probably another push down. So what is more likely to happen would be a zigzag pattern, which is a push down, a correction, after a push down, a correction back to the PVSRA resistance lines. Okay, so the PVSRA resistance, a push back to that resistance, and another continuation of the trend, which is a typical zigzag pattern in PVSRA. Okay, so, but this is what you guys have to pay attention to, because on the other hand, what you have here, if you change from the daily chart, if you change back to the hourly chart, okay, you have something else, which is you have, okay, so it's different, it's totally the opposite, okay? So what you have here, okay, let me get rid of this. So guys, what you have here is you have a push up, okay, going away from the Pvsra support, and then you have a correction all the way back to a little bit, okay, a little bit below the Pvsra support. And this is important because you see that for a while it was accumulating. So when you see this kind of candles, a sequence of candles not going anywhere but accumulating just under the support of the Pvsra, which is here, okay? So you have a series of candles accumulating just below and not that far from the 200 and 233 EMA support lines, and not that far from that point, okay? It has to accumulate for a while. So you have a sequence of candles accumulating for a while, giving you the sense of accumulation under the, just below the support after a push up. So you have a push up, a correction, and after this is more likely that we are going to get another push up following the trend, okay? So this trend has been bullish for a long time, like it's a pretty long time, guys, right? So once it got broken, once this resistance of the 233 and 200 EMA lines got broken, okay? So it got broken here, right, guys? So here was just like a stop hunt, and finally got broken around here, around this area got broken. After that, you can see that the dragon, the 50 EMA, served as support for a while, okay? And it got away from that support, broke the support of the dragon, but it didn't break actually the support of the 200 EMA and the 233 EMAs, okay? What happened here was accumulation just below this point, and after that we expect, whoops, let me get rid of this. So after that, we expect that it's going to continue to follow this trend and make another bullish, huge move, like a bullish rally to the upside, okay? This is more likely to happen. Of course, we don't know, but what I want to say here, guys, is that when you have, okay, so once again, when you have something that on the daily chart is telling you that the overall trend is bearish, so going down, but if you move to another time frame, like a smaller time frame, in this case is the hourly chart, so the H1, and on H1 is telling you is going up. So you have two different signals. One is telling you the bearish trend is going to continue. Another signal is telling you that the bullish trend is going to continue. So that's when you don't actually open a trade. You don't open a new trade because you have, like, one signal is telling you the opposite from what the other signal is telling you. So you don't really open a trade here. And so once again, guys, you don't really, so here's what the Pvsra is telling me on the hourly chart. But if I change here to the daily chart, it's telling me something else. It's telling me that the overall trend is still bearish, okay? So if you maximize, click here to zoom out. So if you zoom out, you can see that the overall trend of the movement here following Pvsra charts, okay? So this Pvsra chart is telling you that the overall trend is still bearish, okay, on the daily chart. So you expect that after this correction, the trend is going to continue to be bearish, okay? So in that case, we are not going to open a trade. And so far I haven't opened. So I started this challenge last week, okay? And a lot of people asked me, they said, oh, hey, Japa, you're not going to open a new trade. And I said, no, of course not. Of course not, because I'm waiting until both charts are telling me the same direction. So once I have the daily chart telling me, okay, so this is this direction, like either bullish or bearish, let's say bearish, okay? Because so far, that's what my daily chart is telling me. So the daily chart is telling me it's bearish, but the hourly chart is telling me it's bullish. So I wait until that correction to finish. And once again, on the hourly chart, if I see if I can spot the end of that correction and then it started to become bearish again, that's when I enter, that's when I open a short position, okay? And if it doesn't, so that's the thing. We have here, oh, Gary Lee, hey bro. So Gary Lee, yeah. So guys, and this is what I'm telling you guys, because, yeah, so what's up, Gary? Always supporting my channel. So hi Gary, how are you? And what I'm telling you guys is once one signal is telling you it's going up, another signal is telling you it's going down, you don't do anything. You just wait until both signals are telling you the same thing, okay? And this is very important because a lot of people, they are not patient enough, and they're really so eager to open a new trade because they want to make money. I understand that, but that's when you screw up. So you really need to follow all the signals. So you have a set of rules. You have to be patient, okay? And another thing that you have to do is you have to be disciplined, okay? You have to have discipline. You have to have discipline to follow the set of rules that you always do, okay? So if I have a strategy, and the strategy has like rule like A, B, C, D, whatever, okay? So it has the set of rules, you have to follow all those rules. It's not that you can skip one or two. It doesn't work like that, okay? It doesn't work like that. So discipline first, okay? Having all set of rules telling you one direction, okay? And if you trade direction, because a lot of people don't trade direction, and there are some ways not to trade the direction, okay? I'm going to teach you in another occasion. But for this Pvsra in specific, we are being directional, okay? We are being directional, so we have to follow when both signals are telling you the same direction. And FHB, good morning, Rob. Really good advice to wait for a clear setup. Yeah, so that's the way to go, okay, guys? So that's the way to go. And once again, let's go back to our chart. So here, guys, what I want to say is that since the overall trend of the HSI, okay, and here once again, there are two different CFDs, okay? So the first CFD, so this one that is HK33, HKD, this one is a CFD that follows the Hang Seng Index, okay? And another one would be the Hong Kong Index, which a lot of people call HK50, which is this one, the Hong Kong, and they have different names. So if you use a different broker, maybe in your broker it's called HK50. I use it on TradingView. On TradingView, it's the HKX HKD, also called Hong Kong 50 CFD, okay? But basically, they are more or less the same thing. They're a little bit different from, depends on the spread, and it depends on the time that you're accessing. So they're a little bit different, but they're more or less the same thing. Both of them, they follow the Hang Seng Index, okay? And why am I plotting them instead of the Hang Seng Index itself? Like, you can also use the Hang Seng Index, okay? And you can either use this one, But then when I use with this indicator, the PVA indicator of volume, it doesn't show. So that's why I like to use the HK33, because it's more or less the same value as the HSI, and it shows you the volume bar here. Okay, so you have an idea of volume and you have an idea of accumulation. So you want to pay attention to those things because you want to see where the big moves and the big accumulation, a lot of volume are taking place, okay? So you want to see the movement of the big players. You don't want to see like some random, like the average Joe, what the average Joe is placing, what kind of orders he's placing. We are not looking for that. We are looking for the big players, what the big players are placing. That's what we are looking for, okay? And so that's it, guys. So as usual, okay, as usual, what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to wait for a big, like a great opportunity when both signals, okay, on the hourly chart on H1 and also on the daily chart, they tell me the same thing. Of course, from time to time, I may also look at the H4, okay, so for the 4-hour chart. And then when I see an opportunity, I'm going to open a trade. So that's how I see, how I do. And from time to time, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And that was the message for today, okay? So thank you so much for watching me live, and I see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.